The promise beneath the lanterns. The night the lanterns rose over the old riverside town, Ian felt as if the universe had quietly paused, just long enough for him to realize what he had been avoiding for years. The festival had always been magical, but this time, as he stood among the crowd, watching soft golden lights drift into the velvet sky, his thoughts kept circling one person. Mira. He hadn't seen her in nearly 3 years, not since the night she left for the city with an acceptance letter and tear-stained dreams. They had promised to stay in touch, to call once a week, to never let distance turn into silence. But life had a way of slipping between people, quietly, steadily, and sometimes painfully. So when he heard she was back in town for the festival, something inside him stirred. A question he had buried long ago rose like a tide. Did she still think of him? The river breeze carried laughter, music, and the smell of honey cakes from the food stalls. Children ran with sparkler sticks, couples strolled hand in hand, and families gathered to release lanterns with whispered prayers. But Ian felt strangely out of place, his eyes searching every corner. And then he saw her. Standing on the wooden bridge, her hair swaying in the breeze, the lantern light warming the side of her face, Mira looked almost unreal, like a memory returning in perfect detail. She was holding a lantern but hadn't released it yet, as if waiting for someone. Ian took a breath and walked toward her. She noticed him just as he stepped onto the bridge. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Her eyes widened, surprise blooming into something softer, something warm. Ian, she said, almost as if the name brought back a wave of forgotten emotions. You're back, he said, breathless despite trying to sound casual. I wasn't sure I'd see you tonight. I wasn't sure you'd want to. A tiny laugh escaped her. It's been a long time. Too long, he admitted. They stood side by side, looking at the river below. Hundreds of lanterns floated upward, their reflections shimmering on the water like golden fireflies. Myra's fingers brushed the thin surface of her lantern. Do you still make a wish before letting yours go? He asked. She smiled. Always. Some habits survive distance. He hesitated. What do you wish for? Mira lowered her eyes to the glowing lantern in her hands. Something I'm not sure I deserve anymore. Ian turned slightly toward her. You deserve kindness. Always. She looked at him then, really looked, and something unspoken passed between them. The same gentle electricity he remembered from the night before she left. Ian, she said softly, do you ever wonder what would have happened if? Yes. He cut in before she finished. More times than I should admit. Her breath hitched, and the lantern in her hands flickered as if responding to her heartbeat. I didn't leave because I wanted to, she whispered. I left because I had to. And I was so scared that you'd think I chose the world over you. You never owed me that explanation, he said gently. But, thank you. The wind brushed past them, cool and tender. I thought you were angry, she said. I wasn't angry, he replied. Just disappointed. At myself. I kept thinking I should have told you something before you left. Mira looked up, her voice barely above a whisper. Told me what? Ian exhaled sharply, feeling a fear he hadn't felt in years. But the night sky was filled with courage, thousands of glowing reasons to finally speak. That I loved you, he said. That I didn't want you to leave without knowing. Myra's lips parted. For a heartbeat, she said nothing. Then, she stepped closer, her lantern held carefully between them. I loved you too, she confessed, her voice trembling. I still do. That never changed. The world around them faded. The music, the crowd, the festival noise. It all blurred into a soft hum, like a distant memory. All Ian saw was her, standing so close he could feel the warmth of her breath. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. Because leaving already hurt, she said. I was afraid that if I told you, I'd never be able to walk away. And I needed to go, to grow. And now, Ian asked. Mira lifted her lantern and held it out to him. Now I want to stop running from the things I love. He placed his hands beside hers on the lantern. Their fingers touched, first lightly, then with deliberate certainty. As the lantern rose between their intertwined hands, it drifted upward, carrying every unspoken feeling with it. They watched it float higher and higher until it disappeared among the stars. Ian turned to her. So, what was your wish this time? Myra's eyes shone in the lantern glow. A second chance. Ian's heart eased, the weight of years lifting in a single breath. Then maybe we should both make that wish come true. Myra's smile softened, full of hope and something deeper. I'd like that. The festival lights flickered around them as they walked down from the bridge together, slowly, naturally, like two people stepping back into a rhythm they had always known. The night breeze carried their laughter, blending with the music drifting from the lantern stalls. At the edge of the river, Mira slipped her hand into his. Ian closed his fingers around hers, steady and sure. It felt right. It felt like coming home. And as more lanterns rose into the sky, glowing symbols of promises, dreams, and second chances, Ian realized something with complete certainty. Some people leave so they can return. Some stories pause so they can begin again. And some loves, no matter the distance or the time, find their way back, like lanterns drifting toward the stars. If you want, I can also create. One a shorter or longer version. One a more intense, dramatic, or funny romantic story. One a sequel to this one. Just tell me.